Do you consider yourself as someone whose limbs would freeze and the vocal cords would stop coordinating when someone initiates a negotiation? Well, then you might be having something called "I'll pay whatever comes out of your mouth" syndrome. But you are in luck, because in this video you will be learning negotiation strategies that will enable you to negotiate like an average Indian woman. Anchoring. You're on a pirate ship and you see another ship approaching you. Since you have been trained by Jack Sparrow himself, you know what to do. You go in the lower part of the ship and release the anchor. This heavy piece of metal sinks at the bottom. The ship that is coming towards you is the opposing party whom you need to negotiate with, and the anchor that you just released is the initial price set by you. The anchor price can be high or low, and this initial offer, whether realistic or extreme, anchors the expectation of both parties and frames the rest of the discussion. The shark-like negotiator is now orbiting around the prey, that is you. Let's not get our feet wet anymore and go to a real-life example. Imagine you're going to buy a used car, because sometimes it's hard to use legs when you're an American. The seller offers the car for $5,000, but the actual price of the new car is $3,000. If you know your cars, you will turn back immediately. But if you don't, you are now anchored to the price of $5,000. After using your best persuasion tactics and showing your wallet with 15 cents and a dead bee, he agrees to sell you the car for $3,000. You may walk away proud and happy, but you have just bought a used car for the price of a new one. How stupid. Even if this initial figure is far from realistic or fair, it shapes the way you perceive the offer. And if you're a bit skeptical, the negotiator can persuade you further by saying, "No one in all of United States will offer you a price lower than this." Go on, ask anyone. But if you already know what the negotiator is doing, you can play your own tricks and counter-anchor.
How much is it?
Chandler, I will handle this. How much is it?
$8,600.
We will give you $10.
If you have already researched the market, you can release your own anchor. When the negotiator offers the car for $5,000, you will Uno reverse the situation by offering $2,000. You will also give facts and figures, such as stating $3,000 is actually the price of the new car, so that he starts trembling and is moments away from peeing his pants. Now you can move on to a more realistic trade. Lowballing. It does not mean hitting someone in the groin. Lowballing involves acting all nice and saint-like by offering an attractive deal initially, but as the deal progresses, slowly adding hidden cost and changing terms to make the deal less favorable for you, showing their true satanic nature. But why would they want to do that? Because they were not loved as a child. The idea is to get you emotionally invested before revealing the actual price. Let's say you wish to get renovation job done in your house because the walls are getting sick. You call a contractor. The contractor guy has already shown you all possible outputs and how the house will appear after the work is done. Your eyes are glimmering, but you are a bit worried as everything looks darn expensive. But the contractor, being the good guy, offers a low price of $500, and you're happy. Little do you know, he's about to pull the big guns. Once the work begins, he adds extra charges for materials, upgrading the floor to have extra shine, pattern of the ceiling that resemble Renaissance art, and a secret premium paint. Since you are committed to the work and invested not just financially but emotionally, you may not want to back out. You start thinking like, it's too late to go back now, it would be stupid to stop work and get a new contractor and so on. At this point, you're just a puppet being controlled by the contractor. In order to defend yourself from lowballing, you must ask for a detailed contract or cost breakdown up front and insist on transparency about potential additional costs. You can always take it a step further and make threats like, "If you charge 1 penny more than what is mentioned in the contract, I will make you eat this paint and watch you shit colorfully. Then I will repeat the same with your children." Highballing is the opposite, where the initial price is set unusually high, but it is brought down gradually to give you the illusion of a great deal. Say you want to buy something, and this something has an inflated price of $10,000. Even though you really want something, you think, nah, that's too much. But then the guy offers a Black Friday discount and lowers the price, and a few more discounts like a personal discount, one for just being nice, and a discount for looking at the gay flag for 20 seconds, reducing the cost to $6,000. Although it is still quite high, since the initial price has been anchored to $10,000, now this deal looks attractive, and the next thing you know, you're lusting for it. The Nibble. When you have worked under Grandmaster Squirrel for 2 years and mastered the ability to nibble, you can extrapolate this skill in the real world. world. The nibble is a tactic where, after reaching an agreement, one party asks for small additional concessions at the last minute. Right after agreeing to everything and just before shaking on it, you say, "Oh yeah, and just one thing. If you could add a little piece of custody to your children, that would be nice." These last-minute requests are usually minor compared to the overall deal, but are strategically introduced once the main terms have been settled. The term nibble refers to how these requests are small in size. For example, you decide to buy a car. After hours of looking, you finally decide on a Bugatti and carefully note its color just in case someone asks. After finally agreeing on a price, you put on your fake squirrel teeth and ask, "Oh, by the way, can you throw in those floor mats for free?" Comparing to the price of the car, the mats are practically nothing, and the seller may not hesitate to throw them in for free so that he doesn't appear uptight and risk losing the deal. If the seller refuses, you might just say, "Alright, cheapskate, I will find another dealer," potentially souring the relationship. So the seller might give in to these requests just to avoid disrupting the final agreement. The timing matters here. You have to nibble right before shaking on the final agreement. If you ask for mats after everything is paid up, the seller can refuse by saying, "I wish I could, but the mats of Bugatti itself cost a fortune. Thanks for shopping though." How can you defend yourself from this if you are the one selling something? You establish a firm boundary once the main terms have been agreed upon. If they try to cross the boundary by asking for additional nibbling, you pull them away by quietly and politely rejecting last-minute requests. You might just throw the words "against company policy" in there. Those words are strong. If you are the purchasing party, then as Bruce Lee once said, "Nibble away, my friend." Good cop, bad cop. This negotiation tactic is introduced by wannabe actors in the business world. Here, two individuals play contrasting roles to manipulate the other party's emotions because it turns out that people usually hate conceited, harsh people and like the ones who are polite and friendly. Who would have thought? Imagine you're starting your own business of hairbrushes with artificial intelligence that guide you where you need brushing the most, since you can't see the back of your head. It's voice enabled and everything. You give your order for the raw materials to another company. The company's negotiating team has two people: the bad cop, who will make you feel bad, and the good cop to reverse the damage. The bad cop is rigid on its terms, like immediate payment in full and no flexible delivery dates. They're aggressive and unyielding, like the US Police Department against black people. They even threaten to cancel the deal if the terms are not met. And just when you're about to cry in front of other grown men, the good cop appears, all smiley and jumpy. He's understanding and friendly and uses phrases like, "I understand where you're coming from," and "I really want to make this work for both of us." He reverts all the rigid policies of a bad cop by providing flexible payment plan and desired delivery date. You have now been psychologically manipulated because just after feeling mistreated and defeated, there was someone to give you comfort. And in that very moment, you realize this cop just gave you most amount of comfort than all of your childhood combined. You are now more likely to close the deal, talk highly of the good cop, and burn the posters of the bad cop. The goal of this tactic is to make you accept good cop's proposal because it seems more favorable in comparison. To defend yourself from this, you need to watch the movie Good Cop, Bad Cop. Identify that this technique is being used on you and don't react emotionally to it. The deadline tactic. Probably the most used technique since it doesn't require much brain, so anyone can do it. In this, the negotiator will impose strict deadline on the deal, creating a sense of urgency for the other party. They will claim that they have the best offer that will expire in the next 37 seconds if you don't accept it. The aim is to pressure you into making a quick decision without fully evaluating your options or considering the long-term consequences. You are the cat that they want to trap by offering a fish that looks fresh from the outside but is actually rotten within. Imagine you are going to buy a car, but you're not the same person who bought the Bugatti. You're someone else. But you don't want to rush into it. You tell your family you're just going to view the options and compare the prices. 3 hours later, you come back with a brand new car. What happened in these 3 hours is that the dealer gave you the deal of a lifetime that will expire at the end of the day and the price will rise. So you don't consider future possibilities, compare the price, or consult someone who knows the market. But at least you have a brand new car. Another example could involve a real estate deal. You go for viewing of the apartment and the seller pulls the, "We have another interested party and we need to make a decision by tomorrow," even if this other party is from make-believe land of Narnia. You look at them with this look of betrayal, and without saying anything, you think, "Really, man? We shared a beer together. I know the names of all your kids." And the seller goes, "It's nothing personal, man. If you really like the property, you will go ahead with the deal." Defense for this strategy is to not make haste, as they say in the biblical times, and take a step back, literally. You look down at your shoes and give slight smirk as if you're the main character, and tell them that you will take your time. And even if you lose your house to the nice folks, it's quite alright. The negotiator will feel the aura in the room. Fait Accompli. Hey, I'm looking for a gym membership. That's great. It's gonna cost you $70, but if you take the annual plan, it'll cost you your happiness. Here's the form. Please fill it and sign it here, here, and here. Are you gonna pay by cash or card? What the? Fait Accompli is a negotiation tactic where one party presents a decision or action as if it's already finalized, leaving no room for discussion, negotiation, or objection. Fait Accompli is French for accomplished facts, meaning that the action has been done, the deal has been sealed. If you're applying for a new job, you want to be ready for the negotiating. You wear your best business suit that you only wear for purposes like this, wear an expensive perfume, ready your portfolio, and give yourself the talk in the mirror. Then the company sends you a contract with all the terms already filled in, including salary, benefits, and other conditions. If you try to negotiate, they might say, these are the terms that all new employees accept. The goal is to make you feel as if it's a take it or leave it situation. And the whole time you're thinking, what? The negotiators are also wondering, does he know what we are doing? If you decide to provide your own conditions, it's a bad day for the negotiator. The defense is to not be intimidated by the facade of confidence and assert your right to negotiate if you don't like the terms. If they start throwing in phrases like, this is standard, you reply, well, that begs the question, what do you mean by standard? It's like, Jesus, man. Bait and switch. It's a deceptive negotiation tactic where one party initially offers a desirable or attractive deal to lure the other party into the negotiation, only to substitute with the less favorable one. You go to buy a property and you love it, but then the real owner arrives and yells, what the fuck are you doing in my house? The property dealer says, oh sorry, yeah, it was already bought, so sorry. Let me show you a better one. And this better one is a bit more expensive. But now that you were enticed by the previous house, this bait and switch just might work. The goal is to hook the other party with an enticing offer, and once their interest is piqued, switch to something less advantageous, hoping they will still agree because they have invested time and effort in the process. Say you're home eating nachos, scratching your belly, and watching your old TV that makes tractor noises. You watch a commercial of a high-end TV at a very low price and decide to buy it. When you enter the retail store, they tell you that the TV has already been sold. Of course you think that, but the TV was never there to begin with. But they do offer you something better at a slightly higher price. Since you've made up your mind about buying a new TV, it's difficult to go back to the old one. You do, however, notice another model that is slightly less expensive, but they say, oh, that is just for comparison. See, that model is already outdated and was used in the medieval times to watch live wars. How to defend against this? Have the courage to walk away when the deal suddenly changes.